Homage to the fundamental teacher Buddha Shakyamuni. Homage to the wisdom warrior Manjushri. Homage to all the benevolent lineage masters. The Dharma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in the million aeons. Now we can hear, study, and follow it. May we fully realize the Tathagata's true meaning. In order to liberate all sentient beings from samsara, please generate the supreme bodhicitta before we start today's teaching. Today we will continue with the study on the seven-line prayer. As I've explained earlier, the seven-line prayer contains different levels of meanings, inner, outer, and secret. This time, I'm focusing on the outer meaning. The principle is similar to Sutrayana as well, but for today's teaching, it involves the practice of the four stages of approach and accomplishment of Vajrayana Buddhism. We have talked about it before when studying the essence of clear light and other tantric practices on the generation stage and the completion stage. Generally, in Vajrayana study, when learning about the generation and completion stages, it is necessary to have some understanding of the four stages of approach and accomplishment. Indeed, there are many different explanations regarding this topic. But among the audience here and those who are watching this video, some might not have received the empowerment yet, whereas some may have very little faith in Vajrayana. If that is the case, since the following part concerns a rather profound practice, it is better for you to skip this part of the course. If you have a strong conviction towards Vajrayana, you may stay. For today's part, I will give a literal explanation of the practice, similar to the way of Sutrayana teaching. This is a safer way to teach. After all, it would be inappropriate to skip this part. Now, I will explain the seven-line prayer accordingly to the four stages of approach and accomplishment. In accordance with this instruction, we should visualize the Supreme Lotus King clearly and steadily in the sky, in front of ourselves, seated on a spotless lotus flower in the lake of Dhanakosha in the land of Urgin. The Supreme Lotus King refers to Pamasambhava, accompanied by his retinue of dakas and dakinis as numerous as the seeds in a pot of sesame. This constitutes the approach phase. We visualize that in space ahead of us, the image of Guru Rinpoche, the one commonly seen from the pictures of the Nyingma refuge field or his other tankas. We should visualize that in the sky in front of us, a lotus flower appears above the ocean, and on top of the lotus sits Pamasambhava. This is the approach phase in Vajrayana. To pray devotedly to Guru Rinpoche with the aspiration to accomplish the three Vajras within our body, speech, and mind is the phase of close approach. The main purpose of practicing the Yiram deity allows our impure body, speech, and mind to become no different from the three Vajras of the Guru or the Yiram. This is called the close approach. For example, if you want to do business with someone, you have to contact this person first. This process is called approach, namely, to find the subject of our visualization. Then you communicate with this person. This is the process of close approach. These two practices of approach and close approach constitute the generation stage. In these two practices, the main visualization is the Yiram deity or the Guru. In conclusion, like iron fragments drawn toward a lodestone, infinite Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions come and dissolve into the Guru and his retinue. In the middle, we pray while reciting the Vajraguru mantra continuously. A similar practice can be found in Mipham Rinpoche's Illuminating the Path to Liberation, and also in his practice of Padmasambhava's Guru Yoga. After the recitation, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 10 directions dissolve into Guru Padmasambhava and his retinue, residing in the middle. The latter then melts into a light, which then dissolves into us. This constitutes the phase of accomplishment. This phase of accomplishment is a unique practice of Vajrayana. In Sutrayana, practices of visualizing the Buddhas or stupas emanating light are quite common. For example, in the Amitayura Dhyana Sutra of the Pure Land Buddhism, it mentions that Buddha Amitayus has 84,000 signs of perfection. Each sign is possessed of 84 minor marks of excellence. Each mark has 84,000 rays. Each ray extends so far as to shine over the worlds of the 10 quarters, whereby Buddha embraces and protects all the beings who think upon him and does not exclude any one of them. From his form kayas, Buddha Amitayus emanates immeasurable light, touching those who are karmically connected with him. Therefore, similar practice are also taught in Sutrayana. But why does Vajrayana require empowerment in preliminary practices? This is because Vajrayana is much more profound than ordinary comprehension. In Vajrayana, the practices of the generation stage, the completion stage, the pure perception, and the great perfection are not so easily accepted by most people. As we mentioned just now, it is relatively rare practice in Sutrayana to visualize Padmasambhava, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas integrating into oneself. The common practices of tongue exoterica are similar to that of the Yana of Kriya and Charya Tantra. The practitioner visualizes the Buddha ahead, whom emanates light, and then the light dissolves into oneself, thereby gaining the blessing. However, in the yanas of and above the Yoga Tantra, not only do the subjects of the visualization emanate light, they also transform into light and dissolve into our bodies, becoming inseparable with ourselves. This is a very advanced technique. Why should we practice this way, and what benefit does it bring? Please refer to the works of Rongzong Choki Zampo, Mipham Rinpoche, and the omniscient Longchenpa to find the relevant theory and pith instructions of Vajrayana for details. It is vital for all Dharma friends to acquire the understanding about Vajrayana theories gradually and furtherly have a good command of its whole knowledge. After all these years of Dharma study, we should understand how extraordinary Buddha Dharma is when compared to other traditions. As I've explained before, starting from the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, Buddhism has already demonstrated its unsurpassable qualities. Buddhism has different vehicles, among which Vajrayana and its pith instructions are no doubt more extraordinary. I had conversations with some Han monks and scholars about Vajrayana. They were not too open to Vajrayana, which is fine. Some reject because they had no understanding of Vajrayana. Some fell so out of their attachment towards their own sect, and some fell so because they were not convinced, and so on. Nevertheless, up until now, I have never met anyone who could negate Vajrayana theories, given convincing and logical reasoning. Actually, the view of Vajrayana can be found in the Sutrayana doctrine. For example, Sutrayana teaches that all beings are innately Tathagatas. All beings possess Buddha nature at all times, and that afflictions are actually Bodhi. But theories and pith instructions of explanations are not given in the Sutrayana doctrines. For example, Sutrayana says, when the mind is pure, the realm is pure. But the world that ordinary beings perceive is filthy, crowded, and disorderly. How can our world actually be the land of great bliss of Buddha Amitabha? In Sutrayana, the elaborated explanations are not provided. Now, through the learning and practicing of Vajrayana, we understand that Pamasambhava is our very own mind. Buddha Amitabha is our own mind. Buddha Shakyamuni is our own mind. But such pith instructions cannot be revealed easily until practitioners have a certain understanding of Vajrayana. Otherwise, they cannot accept this teaching and will easily abandon Vajrayana teachings. This is the reason why Vajrayana teachings need to be maintained secrecy. When practitioners do not reach a certain level of realization, or when the connection is not yet well established, the profound view, meditation, and action of Vajrayana must remain undisclosed from them. To sum up, the phase of accomplishment is the practice wherein the subjects of our visualization dissolve into ourselves, the ultimate mode of being, the ground wherein both we and Guru Rinpoche are primordially inseparable, namely the self-arisen primordial wisdom, which is subject to no movement of discursive thought, is referred to as Guru. The following text explains the great accomplishment phase with Guru Bamasati home from the 7-line prayer. We have learned the approach phase, the close approach phase, and the accomplishment phase. So what is the phase of great accomplishment? When explaining with Guru Bamasati home, it is a rather sophisticated explanation. It says that when Pamasambhava, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas dissolve into our own mind, we should recognize that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are primordially inseparable with us. This is not a careless statement. According to the beacon of certainty, the pure perception is not to fascinate things as pure while they are actually not, like spraying a foul vase with perfume. All dharmas are primordially pure. It is just that sentient beings cannot see the nature of things. Through such practice, we will realize the ultimate Pamasambhava. In the later part of this text, the 7-line prayer is explained according to the teaching, the paths of liberation, and skillful means. So we will skip this part this time, since I'm afraid that many Dharma friends might not be ready to take in the pith instructions of this part just yet. And why do we visualize all noble beings dissolve into us? Because the self-arisen primordial wisdom of Pamasambhava, us, as well as all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, are never defiled by conceptual thoughts and have never been separated. This is the meaning of Guru, our spiritual teacher, which is in reality the Guru is our wisdom mind, and the wisdom mind of every sentient being is no different from that of the Gurus. Again, all sentient beings are primordially pure. This is the meaning of Guru. Because deluded perceptions are themselves primordially pure. The path is free from all striving, and the fruit is present spontaneously, like the lotus in full flower. Therefore, the path itself is referred as Bama, or lotus. What is the meaning of Bama? Our mind is inseparable from the Guru's mind from the very beginning, and thus the path is spontaneously effortless. All the deluded perceptions, like the inner emotions of greed, hatred, and ignorance, and the outer world, are all the spontaneous presentation of the fruition. Our minds is the wisdom mind of Pamasambhava, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas primordially, as perfect as the lotus flower that never gets tainted and is perfect in all features. This is what Pama, or lotus flower, stands for. For the fruit is not something that occurs at a later stage as a result of the practice in the ultimate expanse, which is self-arisen and spontaneously present. The primordial wisdom of self-awareness is clearly and already manifest. This is always referred to a siddhi or accomplishment. Such accomplishment is not attained in a way that an ordinary person becomes enlightened through one's own practice. Of course, it seems like that, but in reality, in the ultimate expense, which is spontaneously present, the fruition of the self-awareness of all sentient beings are already present. In other words, our primordial wisdom is already accomplished and manifest. Why is mental affliction bodhi? Many followers of the Sutrayana tradition do not have any clue. You have to rely on the pith instructions of Vajrayana to truly understand its meaning. And why are sentient beings Buddhas? Although some Sutrayana scriptures explain the point of the third turning of the Dharma wheel that all beings are naturally Buddhas. However, this truth is veiled by adventitious stains of greed, hatred, and ignorance. There is a world of difference between Sutrayana's statement of becoming the Buddha and Tantrayana's all beings are naturally Buddhas. So which theory speaks the ultimate true meaning? The later one. Thus, to truly understand the ultimate meaning of Buddha Shakyamuni's doctrine on both theoretical and applications level, on the basis of Vajrayana's pith instructions, this is what siddhi or accomplishment stands for. Such accomplishment is attained through the uncommon method of Vajrayana. And although in terms of conceptual distinctions, his self-arisen primordial wisdom may be classified as ground, path, and fruit, these three are no different in nature. This is directly perceived by self-cognizing awareness and is indicated by the syllable hong. Hong means the Dharmakaya and wisdom can be classified as the ground, the path, and the fruition. Through languages, symbols, and our conceptual discriminations, the classification is made from different angles. It is like a multifaceted bottle where the words like impermanence, contrite, or compounded all describe the same thing. In fact, certain beings in the face of the ground, bodhisattvas in the face of the path, and Buddhas in the face of the fruition, or the ground of the two truths, the path of two accumulations, namely, the union of method and wisdom, and the fruition of two kayas, these are all in one essence. It is like several layers of space that we divide with our improper conception. We assume that space consists of the first, second, and third layer, well, which is totally fine, but it is impossible to actually split the space and divide it into several layers. This is understood as the syllable hong. The above is the explanation of Guru Bamasati Home. This refers to the great accomplishment phase of practice. Why are ordinary and noble beings inseparable by their nature? I just gave you a brief explanation on the literal meaning. But maybe I have some faults in revealing too much profundity and secret meaning. Om Benza Sato Home. The two steps of accomplishment and great accomplishment make up the perfect stage of practice. The meaning of this is that we should recite the seven-line prayer while never parting from the practice, wherein the generation and perfection stages are united. To pray in this way is of great importance because the path of Vajrayana is rather sophisticated. I believe that many Dharma friends who have conviction in it have experienced certain blessings and accomplishment. Moreover, if you can practice at an advanced level, for instance, to practice or to pray in the state of being inseparable from the generation and completion stages, it works better and brings blessing and accomplishment swifter. The first 5 lines of the prayer describe the subject of a clear visualization, Pamasambhava, the place of his birth, etc. During this teaching of the 7-line prayer, although I will not touch on the hidden meaning, but from its outer meaning, we should realize its rarity and preciousness, that this prayer is exceptional in many ways, including its historical background, its merit, and profundity. Those who do not know the value of the Vajra words might think little of the 7-line prayer. I can even compose an 8-line prayer. But such great prayer is not something that can be contrived by our discriminating mind. The first 5 lines describe the visualization and thus constitute the phase of the approach. The 6th line expresses trust and confidence in Guru Rinpoche and is thus the phase of close approach. And in your footsteps practicing we follow you expresses the trust and confidence in Guru Rinpoche and is thus the phase of close approach. Then with the 7th line, we mingle inseparably with the Guru and this is the accomplishment phase. Then Pamasambhava comes to grant us blessing so that our mind becomes indivisible from him. Guru Bamasati. As we recite the mantra with our minds indivisible from the Guru, we behold the countenance of the great Dharmakaya. This is the phase of great accomplishment. Therefore, all 4 phases of approach and accomplishment are complete within this very prayer. If we strive in the recitation of the 7-line prayer as described, having established beforehand the time that we will give to the practice, and if we persevere in our efforts with one-pointed devotion and without being carried away by distraction, this constitutes the approach phase. In terms of time span, the 7-line prayer also can be classified into 4 phases. To pray one-pointedly without distraction is called the phase of approach. When we begin to feel the effect of Guru Rinpoche's blessings, this is the close approach. Whichever Yidam deity that we pray to, recite mantra of this Yidam deity consistently is very important. If we can recite non-stop, the blessing will naturally merge into our hearts. For example, we are currently reciting the mantra of Pamasambhava. We can feel the blessing from Pamasambhava. Indeed, such blessing received in our hearts will manifest in the phenomenal world. Then, many obstacles throughout our Dharma practice can be dispelled through the transformation of many causes and conditions. And in the precious treasury of Pith instructions, it is said that auspicious circumstances within you will arise in your outer experience. This means if we pray to Pamasambhava, for example, and we pray to him often, or if we pray to Manjushri often, then this Yidam deity will constantly bestow his blessings upon us. If we feel indifferent towards all Yidam deities, although Buddhas and Bodhisattvas possess extraordinary qualities and the incredible power of blessings that is wonderful and pure as the moonshine, us, the defiled vessel, are bound to get no blessings. Like a vessel of a muddy water, it cannot reflect the moon. It will be our devoted prayers that connect us to the blessings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Some Dharma friends are very motivated to practice. Whenever I am given teaching on a specific noble being, such as the practice of reciting the Vajraguru mantra, many Dharma friends generate and maintain a sincere faith. They have never had any wrongful views towards Pamasambhava. From practicing Buddha Amitabha, they have great conviction in Amitabha. Such devoted supplication is called the approach phase. Then, we will experience certain signs in our dreams or other circumstances, such that we could genuinely feel that Dharmas and Bodhisattvas are blessing us and are always with us. Although we cannot perceive them with naked eyes, we continue to experience their blessings. This is the phase of close approach. When, on receiving signs of realization, whether in waking life, in meditation, or dreams, we continue to strive in the recitation of the prayer to the Guru, this is the accomplishment phase. Guru Rinpoche truly appears in front of us and talks to us face to face. This may happen in dreams, in meditation, or in a state that is neither awake or dreaming. Now, this is the accomplishment phase. Finally, when our body, speech, and mind are blessed, and we realize that the Guru and our minds are inseparable, this is the great accomplishment. Indeed, many practitioners achieve such realizations through their genuine devotion. In 2007, a Rinpoche from the Taipei Pamakara Buddhist Society told a story about a modern-day practitioner in Bhutan who attained accomplishment through the practice of Pamasambhava. This accomplished master, when he was alive, people mostly addressed him as Druptop, which means someone who has attained realization. He was just a common illiterate farmer who first followed the Bon religion. Later in his middle age, he became blind. At that time, the farmer did not understand the qualities of Pamasambhava and had even expressed negative views towards Guru Rinpoche with denigration. Later, he went blind because his enemies cast spells on him. After losing his sight, he lived a miserable life. To recover his sight, the farmer went to many doctors, but none could help. Once in a special occasion, he encountered some spiritual masters. They advised him to abandon the Bon religion and do the practice of Pamasambhava. As the proper causes and conditions were in place, he began reciting the Vajraguru mantra wholeheartedly. And due to his blindness, he didn't have many things to do anyway, since there was no day or night for him. He began to recite the mantra diligently all day long. When he completed 100 million recitations, he experienced some signs of accomplishment. Druptop's prayer wheel, which he rotated as he recited the mantra, began to flow out nectar surprisingly. We know that prayer wheels contain dry paper rolls, and it is impossible for water to drip out of thin air. Yet his prayer wheel demonstrated such a strange phenomenon. Yet, not being attached to such a miraculous sign, he continued to recite the mantra diligently. When Benza Guru Druptop had completed the mantra 300 million times, in a dreamlike state, he personally saw the lotus-born Guru, despite of his blindness in real life. When Guru Rinpoche emerged, he made a prophecy to Benza Guru Druptop. You need to continue the practice. If you live for 7 more years, your eyesight will recover. The reason for your blindness is due to your evil intents and criticism towards noble ones, causing confused, interdependent phenomenon to arise. Guru Rinpoche asked him to purify his negative karma while continuing his practice diligently. In a mysterious state, Guru Rinpoche also gave him a special blessing. Guru Rinpoche asked him to make a special crown, a lotus hat that symbolizes auspicious interdependence arising. So the blind Druptop made the crown accordingly from bronze pieces without anyone's help. It was a special lotus hat, a source of powerful blessing. Later, those who were fortunate enough to see, hear, touch, or know of it benefited from it to a certain degree. He also knew of a secret method to reverse obstacles, which is the lotus-born Guru had personally transmitted to him. It is only known to himself. Regarding this, similarly, there used to be many great Turtons who can make Torma offerings according to the sadhanas that are only known to themselves. In the case of Druptop, when some people were seriously ill, or suffered from urgent calamities that needed to be dealt with right away, they will ask Druptop to help to reverse obstacles. Then he will make a special kind of torma and recite a short ritual which only he knew how to perform. This method is a little unusual, which requires one to strip naked and take the Dharma to a nearby triple intersect junction while totally nude. This method is quite powerful, and all the people whom Druptop had performed this ritual on recover from their problems without exception. He could swiftly remove all heavy illnesses or the emergency that befell. At that time, the local people benefited greatly from this method. As a result, many people generated a great faith towards Buddha Dharma and the practice of Pamasambhava. 7 years after getting the vision from Pamasambhava, when Druptop's recitation of the Vajraguru mantra reached over 600 million, he left for Sangdokpari Pure Land to see Guru Rinpoche, thus fulfilling the prophecy that he would recover his sight. Due to visual impairment, no one was willing to look after him properly. Thus he wandered around in the Chin region in Bhutan. Although he was a Siddha, he did not alter his clothes or appearance, but remained like a beggar. Later, he was invited to stay at Sangha Tekchok Osuling Monastery. Drupta lived a simple life where he used a skull cup to eat whatever people offered and never washed it. He behaved completely like an ancient yogi. He would only accept a few clothing and food from others. If someone offered money, he would recite mantras and blow on them as a blessing before returning them to the offerer. Telling the offerer not to use the money but to carry it around as blessed protection. 7 days before he passed away, Benza Guru Druptop informed the abbot Urjin Lama, "I am leaving this world to see Pamasambhava." At that time, the abbot thought that Druptop was still healthy and he was just joking. He did not pay much attention to this remark. Benza Guru Druptop then confidently told several monk friends that Lama Ugin does not have the freedom over birth and death, but I do. He will not understand my meaning. The Dharmakaya is beyond death because I have realized the Dharmakaya. There is no death to speak of for me. Some monastics did believe his words and got worried. 7 days later, Druptop sat in crossed Vajra posture while passing into parinirvana. At that moment, the earth trembled. The master passed into parinirvana in 2006, and his story is well known across Bhutan. It is a true story. In this day and age, there are still many practitioners who practice Guru Rinpoche wholeheartedly. I once read an article from the Luminous Light Forum about a man who practiced Pamasambhava in a cave near Migyur Monastery, which means Luminous Pearl Monastery in the Litang County. He practiced Guru Rinpoche in solitary retreat all his life. He consistently recited the mantra of Pamasambhava. According to some records, he did more than 1 billion times of recitation. Later, a spring flowed out nearby his retreat cave, and the sound of the running water sounded just like the mantra of Pamasambhava. It can be heard by anyone nearby. Such accomplishment is indeed a rarity. When he passed away, there were many auspicious signs. These are all undeniable facts. Even though from the appearance we are all ordinary men, yet some can recite mantras over 1 billion times, while some find it difficult to recite even 100,000 times. Surely, just as the ancient saying goes, men are different in many ways. Some people are powerful, some suffer deprivations, some are strong, some are weak, some are competent, some are not, etc. These differences are related to personal karma of previous lives and one's effort and diligence in this life. In this short life, we need to do many things, especially to engage ourselves in extraordinary practices. If we miss the chance to practice in this short lifetime, it is hard to come by it again. Let alone some complicated practices, we can always recite mantras like the mantra of Avalokiteshvara or the Vajraguru mantra. It's not very hard to reach a certain state during the recitation. In the benefit of the Vajraguru mantra, it introduces that if you perform 100,000, 10 million, or more recitations, the 3 worlds will come under your power. The 3 levels of existence will fall under your glorious sway. Gods and spirits will be at your bidding. However, to recite 1 or several billion mantras, like those accomplished beings, is probably not realistic for most people. Especially nowadays, people's minds are in chaos. Many people squander their lives away in meaningless things. People in the big cities kill their time with TV dramas every day. Some sleep long hours, while some are busy with their work, desperately devoting all their lives to working until they break down one day. At that moment, they have accumulated no virtues, but loads of negative karma. So when I see that in the pure Bodhimanda like Larun, most Dharma friends are very diligent with virtuous acts, that I sincerely rejoice. Sometimes their exertion makes me embarrassed and reminds me of one prediction of the degeneration age. During the time of Kashyapa Buddha, a princess had a dream once that a monkey was sitting on a throne giving Dharma teachings, while many lions were listening under him. Kashyapa Buddha interpreted the dream and suggested that in the age of Buddha Shakyamuni, Dharma will decline. The so-called spiritual teachers, with neither inner nor outer qualities, to preach the Dharma, just like a monkey sitting on a throne, while the listeners are like snow lions endowed with all the qualities. I think now it is the time improving that prophecy. Many practitioners around me are practicing diligently day and night. Quite a number of them practice really well. But just like dragons and fish jumbled together in the ocean, there are also a few who are lazy slackers. When I see these people, I cannot help but wonder, why did these people get ordained? And why do these lay people stay here? They cannot get any fame or fortune here. Every day, they either listen to music and radio or sing or kept chatting about their past days. Sometimes I do find in our pure valley of Larun very few who, when observed objectively, are inferior practitioners. Although our academy is an extraordinary Bodhimanda, still, it is impossible to avoid such an unacceptable phenomenon. While this could happen anywhere in the world, even by the side of Buddha Shakyamuni, 500 bhikkhus renounced their monastic vow, so it is even less likely that everything in our institute is immaculately pure. Many people misunderstand monastics should be free from any afflictive emotions, so they are shocked once they notice the improper behaviors of a few ordained individuals. This is because of their lack of understanding of the Buddha's history and the truth behind every case they heard. Despite that, we should try to do something meaningful, especially in such a pure Bodhimanda. As practitioners, Dharma practice should be our utmost priority. Never be like some people who uphold terrible manner even by the social standards, who like to indulge in meaningless things. And of course, most of the lay practitioners in the cities are doing fairly well, under the pressure from their work and family, facing many issues in their lives. They can still manage to find the time to study and practice the Dharma, but some make many excuses for being lazy and consider Dharma study as a mundane activity. From the bottom of my heart, I truly hope that we can make this short life worthwhile by prioritizing Dharma study and practice and benefiting sentient beings. Therefore, we should select and engage in meaningful things. For those petty matters, even if we can't avoid them completely, we should be less active. Some people's negative habitual tendencies are rather strong. Right after listening to one Dharma lesson, they can still more or less control their afflicted mind for a day or two. There are many causes and favorable conditions for bad habits to take effect, but very few for wholesome deeds like Dharma study and practice. Yet this is the case most of the time. Above is the analysis of the 4 stages of approach and accomplishment from different aspects. As it is said in the treasure text discovered by Ngari Rijing, called the outer sadhana of the Vidyadhara that embodies the 8 herigas. An all-sufficing sovereign in this prayer is 7 lines. By the power of aspiration, you will see the Guru's face directly. For 7 days or 21, recite this prayer. Accomplishments and blessings will rain down on you. From every obstacle, you will be free. Among all sadhanas, the 7-line prayer is the most supreme, like an emperor among the common people. It is the king of prayers. This is why in many Tibetan monasteries, the practices of many deities often begin with the recitation of the 7-line prayer. By the power of Bamasambhava's aspiration, as well as the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, through sincere supplication, you will see Guru's face directly. It is best to practice this prayer in solitude for 7 or 21 days. I once went to a monastery in Ronzak County. This monastery asked all the local people, monastics and laities alike, to practice 7 days every autumn. In 7 days straight, they recite the 7-line prayer from morning to evening. In Tibetan region, there are many monasteries, certain places, and some individuals who purposely spare 7 or 21 days in concentrating on the practice of Pamasambhava. Generally, when practicing on a hidden deity, it's good to start with the condensed practice to build a good connection with the deity. Just as His Holiness Jigme Pungto Rinpoche did with many practices, including the practice of Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and so on. If you look at the stories of His Holiness, whenever he practiced a specific Yidam deity, he would focus on it for a period of time. After that, he would frequently recite this deity's mantras. Likewise, if you want to practice on Pamasambhava, either chanting his mantra or the 7-line prayer, You could start with a 7-day retreat focusing on this practice. After the intensive practice, you can recite the mantra occasionally. To put it in worldly context, when I meet someone for the first time, I would invite him to a meal so that we may become formally acquainted with each other. This is the social etiquette indicating that from now on we are friends. In the future, if I need your help, I can just give you a call and you promise that you have my back. Whenever you encounter any obstacles, just give Guru Rinpoche a call. A couple of days ago, some say that last year there were protests in their city where his whole family gathered together and recited, "This is the way to go." In many places, when praying to Guru Rinpoche, people usually say Lama Ting or Guru Rinpoche King. It means Guru Rinpoche knows, or Guru Rinpoche, please care for me. In many Tibetan regions, old people and Buddhist practitioners would utter these words whenever they run into any dangers on the road. But nowadays, young Tibetans aren't like this anymore. People used to pray to Guru Rinpoche even when they have the tiniest trouble. When I was herding yaks, whenever I saw wolves lurking nearby, I would say, Guru Rinpoche King. This is a tradition we have. If you habituate yourself by praying like this, in the long run, when you die, Amitabha and Pamasambhava will come to assist you. The above explains, accomplishments and blessings will rain down on you. From every obstacle, you will be freed. And Guru Rinpoche himself promised in his own words, if with yearning melody you sing these 7 lines, invoking me intensely to the beat of Dhammaru, from Ngayap's glorious mountain I will bless you, eye of organ, like a mother helpless to resist her darling baby's tears. This I pledge, or else I'll go to hell. If we can sing the 7-line prayer melodiously and pray while drumming the Dhammaru, then Pamasambhava will come to us from the continent of Ngayap. This is just like when a child is crying for his mother. She cannot bear to leave her child behind, but to come immediately to the child. It's the same for Guru Rinpoche. He made a pledge to all sentient beings. Therefore, we should pray to Guru Rinpoche whenever and wherever possible. If we have instruments like a Dhammaru, we can use them. If not, we can join our palms together and sing this prayer with devotion. Then, without a doubt, Guru Rinpoche will come right away to bless our body, speech, and mind. He will remove all obstacles caused by humans and non-humans. I think many are confident in Guru Rinpoche's Vajra words. In the uncatalogued text, the Guru is the gathering of secrets. Guru Rinpoche says, upon that day of days, the 10th day of the monkey month, the monkey year, and all the 10th days of the moon, such times of power as these, sending emanations, I will fill the world, supreme and common cities richly to bestow. If you spend your life accomplishing the teacher, when the time of dissolution comes, you will melt into the heart of me, the organ guru. This is an important teaching as well. The 10th day of the monkey month and the monkey year in Tibetan calendar marks a very important day. It is the date where Guru Rinpoche left Tibet for the continent of Naya, the 10th day of the monkey month of the monkey year. As you all know, we will come across the monkey year every 12 years. This year is the year of Earth Ox, so the year of the monkey is in 7 years to come. If His Holiness hasn't passed away in 2004, the year of water sheep, we would have hosted a very special Dharma assembly the next year at Larung. Larungar 5 Sciences Buddhist Academy was founded in 1980 by His Holiness Jigme Pongtok on the 10th day of the monkey month of the monkey year. This is the great day in Tibetan region. It is important because it's the day that Guru Rinpoche left Tibet. Before his parting, he told all the ministers and people that in the future, when this day comes, he will be back to the human realm and grant blessing to all of us. And so every 10th day of each month in Tibetan calendar is the king of all time. The king of all time is the 10th day of each month. Why? In Guru Pamasambhava's biography, it is recorded that the 10th day of each month has the remarkable origination for benefiting sentient beings and taming evilness. For example, on the 10th day of the first month of the Tibetan calendar, Guru Rinpoche abandoned his kingship to the cool grove charnel ground. He subjugated all the matrikas and dakinis with his powers and turned the wheel of Dharma for them. So the 10th day of the first month is a very special day. On the 10th day of the second month, he received ordination from his master, Prabhahasti. Some accounts claim that he was ordained by Ananda. Then, on the 10th day of the third month, in the kingdom of Zahor, the king of Zahor tried to burn Guru Pamasambhava alive. But Guru Rinpoche magically transformed the pyre into a lake. On the 10th day of the third month, he exercised his supernatural powers. On the 10th day of the fourth month, in the kingdom of Udayana, Guru Rinpoche and his consort Mandarawa were thrown into the fire for 7 days and 7 nights. But not only did they come out intact, they performed various magical powers and tamed all the demonic beings. Later, the king of Udayana appointed Guru Rinpoche as the imperial preceptor. On the 10th day of the fifth month, he conquered 500 Tritikas and let out the lion's roar of Buddha Dharma. On the 10th day of the sixth month, Pamasambhava was born within a lotus blossom on Lake Dhanakosha. On the 10th day of the seventh month, in Zangling, he listened to slanderous talk from people who held wrong views. The king forced Guru Rinpoche into a box made of red copper, sealed the box with nails, and was about to throw him into the Ganges River. But through Guru Rinpoche's performance of a Vajra dance in the sky with emanating light and reversing the flow of the river, the royal palace was about to be engulfed with the rising water. Terrified, the king and his court apologized to Guru Rinpoche. On the 10th day of the 8th month, when the Tritikas poisoned him, not only was Guru Rinpoche unharmed, but he also turned the poison into nectar. Furthermore, his radiance became even more majestic and dazzling than before. On the 10th day of the 9th month, in Yangling Shore of Nepal, Guru Rinpoche manifested in the form of Varakumara and commanded the gods and spirits of Nepal and Tibet under the oath to protect Dharma. He attained the supreme Vidyadhara stage of Mahamudra. On the 10th day of the 10th month, as he arrived in central Tibet, he tamed all the wild, unruly gods and spirits in Tibet. He lit up the lamp of the sacred Dharma and laid the foundation for the widespread of Buddhism. On the 10th day of the 11th month, starting from Samye Monastery, he concealed unimaginable dharmas of teaching across the whole land of snow. He subjugated all the earth lords of Tibet and put them under oath. So these local spirits promised Pamasambhava to be the guardian of the dharmas. It is like Guru Rinpoche entrusted the key of Dharma in their hands. Finally, on the 10th day of the monkey month, monkey year, at a place called Ganten in Mangye, Guru Rinpoche left for Naya Limb, leaving behind many teachings to us. He promised all who on the 10th day of the waxing moon recall and make remembrance of me, I, Pamasambhava, will come right away and appear to bestow the blessing always. This is the reason why many monasteries hold a sacred talk offering on the 10th lunar day and perform the practice of Pamasambhava. When I was little, old people used to say that, today we should recite the Vajraguru mantra. It is the 10th lunar day. I don't know if nowadays Tibetans still revere this day. Anyway, the 10th lunar day is a very special day. Therefore, Dharma friends should constantly remind yourself to perform a feast offering and recite the 7-line prayer and Vajraguru mantra on each 10th lunar day wherever you are. Because Guru Rinpoche promised, sending emanations, I will fill the world. On each 10th day of all months across the entire world of Jambudvipa, Guru Rinpoche has pledged that he will manifest in tens of thousands of emanations to bless us. This is a certainty. Such is his oath. His Holiness Jigme Phuntsol Rinpoche used to emphasize on the 10th lunar day of the monkey month of the monkey year as an extremely important day that we must hold a grand Buddhist ritual and make a large-scale talk offering. On the 10th day of each month, try our best to perform a talk offering and pray to Guru Rinpoche whatever we desire, either to dispel obstacles, to fulfill wishes, or to attain liberation. We should visualize him first, then supplicate him. If we do so, then Guru Pamasambhava will grant us cities of the ordinary and the supreme. For anyone who spends this human life in accomplishing the Guru Yoga of Pamasambhava, when this lifetime reaches its end, one will dissolve right into Ugni's heart. In reality, Pamasambhava and Amitabha are inseparable and non-dual by essence, so there is no difference in nature to practice either one of them. But we must practice. It is a great shame to encounter such extraordinary Dharma but fail to practice. The secret guide to accomplishing the Guru, it is said, when in the generation stage of Ujjayasadhana, you clearly meditate. There I am before you. Guru Pamasambhava will be present in front of us. Whenever we meditate, pray or recite his mantras. When you make the mandala and set out torma and the substances of offering, do not doubt it, I will come to you. We should make some offerings in front of the statue of Guru Rinpoche, which we place in the shrine. If we pray while making these offerings, he would surely come to us. The same text also says, meditate on Pamasambhava, embodied in a form of light, and not of the flesh, and have great confidence. Pamasambhava doesn't have a body of flesh. His body is a form of light. Visualize as such, and he will bless us incessantly. We must give rise to the confidence that we are our own Eden deity. And I shall come, unable to resist, when with devotion and strong, fervent prayers you pray to me. The lotus born of organ, I will come to you. Guru Pamasambhava will come to whomever prays with strong conviction. Pamasambhava does have such an ability, and so he promised. Sometimes, in order to destroy some people's arrogance, some Buddhist masters in the mainland region used to display their signs of accomplishment. For example, the well-known Fu Dashi, along with Bodhidharma, Master Baozhi, were the prominent 3 Buddhist masters in the Liang dynasty. Fu Dashi named himself as Master Shanhui, the one who attained liberation under the Shuangling double trees. Indeed, some of his practice and accomplishment are similar to those of Pamasambhava. I've shared with you before. As he saw that many people were illiterate or too busy, they could not read the Tripitaka. So he invented the wheel repository and promoted it in many places across the mainland. This is indeed one of his extraordinary Dharma activities. Actually, he used to be a fisherman, but the way he fished was very unique. After catching the fish into a bamboo basket, he told the fish, "Leave as you wish, stay as you wish." Many fish who had no fortunate bond with him swam away. Those who owe him the karmic debt from past lives stayed. Then he ate them. One day, when he was fishing, a monk from India came to him and said, "You and I took the same vow in front of Vipassana Buddha. Don't you remember?" He was petrified. He couldn't remember. So the monk said to him, "Look at your reflection in the water." So he looked in the water. Above his head, there was a precious parasol with divine light radiating. Because of this, he recalled his previous aspirations. After that, he practiced diligently under Shuangling. And after 7 years of practice, the master had a vision of 3 Buddhas, Shakyamuni, Dipankara, and the Golden Stained Buddha, sending out rays of light and dissolving into his body. Thus he received their blessings. Later, when famine pervaded, after sending his wife away, he hosted a Dharma offering assembly of impartial equality. Some of his behavior were very similar to Tibetan yogis. One day, he wore a pair of Confucian shoes, a Buddhist robe, and a Taoist cap to visit Emperor Wu of Liang. Nan Huaijing said that this is a characteristic of Chinese Chan Buddhism. Confucianism is the basis, Taoism comes foremost, and Buddhism being the core. This is his explanation. In some people's eyes today, they might think that certain practices of Vajrayana are quite strange. As soon as they hear Padmasambhava saying that he was an enlightened being, they start slandering. This is because they have little knowledge of people with extremely high states of attainment. Surely, the behavior of some Chen masters are sometimes incomprehensible, including some masters of the Pure Land school. For instance, the 5th patriarch of Pure Land, Shao Kang, was mute when he was little. When he was 7 years old, his mother took him to a monastery where he saw a Buddha statue. His mother asked him, "Do you know who this is?" He suddenly cried out, "Buddha Shakyamuni." His mother was so delighted that she let him be ordained. When the master was reciting Amitabha, bright rays of light emitted from his mouth in the form of the Amitabha image one by one, like a child blowing water bubbles, bloop, bloop, one after another. People nowadays might not comprehend this. Once the Emperor Wu of Liang asked to draw the image of Master Baozhi. The skillful painter almost failed to do his job because Master Baozhi suddenly appeared in the form of 12-faced Avalokiteshvara. As well, Tibetan masters like Shichenba, who manifested to transform the body into light merging into Heruga. I think we better learn more about these incredible accomplishments. Okay, that's it for today. I would like to continue, but time is up.